Working on the Friday announcements is something special. It comes straight from the heart.
Are you seriously going to do that?
Towards the lens of our camera, and then into the computer, and then out to your eyes, which then you gobble up with your icicles. I don't know what I'm saying.
Working on the Friday announcements. Wow. There's a lot of time spent not working on the Friday announcements. It's actually pretty fun working for the Friday announcements. We kind of get to fool around to an extent.
I really like working on the Friday announcements because it's a chance to get creative and do whatever you want while still giving helpful information to the school.
Working on the Friday announcements is fun. You get to create your own story or use funny little props.
Well, the Friday announcements are always a lot of fun to mess with because you're pretty much free to do whatever you want, and you have the ability to tell a story that's going to be able to be shown to the entire school. I mean, maybe they don't watch it, whatever.
It depends on when we start. Me and Alex tend to always do them the week of, and we always encounter some sort of problems.
About 2 days. And those aren't full days, those are class periods, so each class period is about an hour and a half. It's about 3 hours of filming and editing before it goes to you guys.
Well, that class is Thursday, huh? So you
Yeah,
have to film it and edit it.
And edit it, yeah. But we're gonna have to do it straight off the bat.
Yeah.
Okay. We might need to start during brunch.
Yeah.
And then we might need to finish editing.
After
what are you guys
brunch.
doing? What do you guys have 7th?
No, it won't take that long. There's 10 announcements.
Yeah.
Hey, think about it.
No,
Okay.
But still, you know how long it takes. We have to edit them.
Yeah.
Well, the administration and the other teachers and I expect the announcements to look professional, like the students have learned something, they're not just goofing around. And the other thing is that the audience is captive. They can't get up and leave if they're offended. So it's important that there isn't anything in there that is racially or ethnically or sexually explicit that would offend someone, because they can't get up and leave if they're offended. They're stuck in class. So the rules are, it may not look like it, but there's actually pretty strict rules about what they can do and what they can't do, because it has to be clean and professional.
I do wish I had more freedom with the announcements sometimes. Sometimes you can't get away with everything that you want to do.
I do kind of wish I had more freedom with the announcements, but I know that my limit wouldn't really be appropriate compared to others, so I feel like it's a good thing that Miss Sidley limits us to an extent. Yeah, I do wish I had more freedom with the announcements. A lot of our announcements have been ruined due to administrative difficulties.
Oh God, yes. If I had more freedom in terms of what has to be censored or what can't be shown on the announcements, gosh, there would be a lot more jokes. There are a lot more jokes that are funny. And also they'd be about 50 minutes long.
No, most of the time censorship is not an issue while doing the announcements. Sometimes, you can't say ridiculous stuff, you can't say butt or something, which kind of sucks. Or poop, you don't have to say that. But usually, if your announcement's going in that direction, it's not that great anyway. So you can edit around it. But no, I feel like censorship is not that big a deal.
Oh yeah, dude, censorship gets in the way a lot of the times. But we usually we work it out to where it's still entertaining.
For the most part, the censorship is okay, but there's a little bit that could be loosened up on, like saying but. I think like I feel like there's a couple things that we're not allowed to say that are kind of silly that we wouldn't be allowed to say, but I don't think it's too big of a deal. To make the announcements appeal to the largest crowd, we want to throw in jokes that everyone will get, not just like inside jokes that wouldn't be funny.
The way I try to appeal to the most amount of people is by like this scale I have. Like the more embarrassed I feel like the more people are gonna laugh. So if I'm like, wow, this is really embarrassing, I shouldn't do it, then I do it just because I know people will laugh. That's usually how it works, and usually it works out.
I never really thought of it appealing to most of the students. We just do what us as a class kind of all agree on and think is funny.
On the chopping block today, if you're interested in leading a school as supposed to meet
You should just keep going while we put subtitles.
That'd be so funny. Comedy. Comedy is the #1 answer to trying to get people to pay attention to the announcements. I mean, we can't show any violence. You know, we push the boundaries on the violence.
Yeah, you know what? It's mostly comedy. Like, to connect with most people, you want to make them laugh.
Oh, it's pretty hard, and Scott and Wyatt and them always have super good announcements. It's hard to find stuff that is generally funny to everyone.
It's tough to come up with fresh ideas every week. Sometimes we think we have a really cool idea one week, and then when we actually try and put it down, it looks really dumb. And so it's hard sometimes. And then sometimes it just pops up. Sometimes we'll be like, oh, well, that's a funny idea.
It'd be nice if people appreciated how hard it is to come up with a new idea all the time when we do it. I mean, I think there are 180 days of school, and we probably do the announcements 170 times. And that, you know, there really isn't another class that produces something that much. You know, there's one yearbook. The Woodside World comes out once a month. 170 shows is a lot. And so I think considering the quantity that we have to produce, we're pretty darn creative.
Every week I feel like I'm not going to have enough time to finish the announcements. I am usually here like at lunch on Thursday finishing the announcements.
Yeah, when I have a lot to do, I definitely get stressed out about finishing the announcements.
Yeah, there are times where I think, like right now, as we're filming the second newscasting announcements, we have a lot of stuff that we can't put in, which is kind of sad, but we have till, I think, is it tomorrow? Yeah, we have till tomorrow to finish this.
I mean, recently, Scott didn't finish in time, and it made the announcements look really bad, so thanks, Scott.
The hardest thing about shooting Friday announcements is probably the time frame. Because we only have 1 week to do it, it's kind of hard to like make it funny and creative and appealing to all audiences, and still get everything in there within that week. Really like 2 days to do it, 2 classes to do it, unless you're trying to be here at lunch, which no one really wants to.
Scott is the hardest thing about shooting the Friday show.
Do you want to clarify?
No, Scott's not that hard to work with. It's just that he spends a lot of time on it, and so we have to kind of go with what he does, which is usually the right thing to do.
The hardest thing about shooting the Friday show is getting it all done in time, because you have to, in those several days that you have of class to work on it, you have to have an idea in the first place, you have to develop those ideas, then get some people on board to help you film it, act in it, then you have to go to whatever different locations you're going to film it, and then you have to edit it, and get it done in time for the Friday that it's going to be aired. And in many cases it has to be done at least the day before.
How long do you have to finish?
Lunch. Half hour.
How long do you think it will take?
Much longer than that.
Improving on set for the Friday announcements is probably like the most used technique out there because of the time frame and everything. We usually improv like 95% of the announcements.
Most of our stuff is improv. We'll have like general ideas of what we want to do, but it always tends to work out better when we kind of just go with it.
There's a lot of improv on set. I mean, we probably go for about like 10 minutes of just raw footage of us mostly me, just fooling around.
Senior athletes, are you going to be playing a sport in college? I know I'm not. Did you receive a scholarship? I hope I did. If so, Yearbook would like to recognize your achievements. Please stop by D7 on my March 1st to pick up an obtained form.
We need to do that one again.
Actually, I think that's a fantastic idea. I think it'd be great if we start to like branch out to the interwebs and have people see our stuff. Like having a YouTube page would be awesome. Having a Facebook page, we already have one. Like us at this link, because I'm gonna tell Adam to put a link here. Like us there. We only have like 20 likes. I made it like 2 years ago.
I think it would be a good idea for the film class to be online in some respect, either on YouTube, which is where this is going, I believe, or Facebook, you know, because some of the things we make we're really proud of, like some of the works, and a lot of the time they only get shown once on the announcements, and so it's cool to be able to have whatever you worked on for a while be put up for all the world to see online, and it will live on forever.
I've seen a lot of really cool jokes slip by the whole class because no one's paying attention. So pay attention to the Friday announcements, they're really cool.
I feel like people should understand that, I mean, we do take a lot of work out of it, so it's not like a fool around class, even though we do fool around, or it looks like we fool around a lot. We actually get work done, and it's, I don't know, it's pretty fun and entertaining. I had a lot of memories in this class, and it's been a fun year.
Any last things you want to say?
I'm sorry, Scott. That's it for the announcements. You stay classy, Woodside High School.
Who put the question mark on the teleprompter?
Did you want him to train so he transfer?
Thanks for watching. Make sure to go check out our YouTube channel at youtube.com/WHS Video Production 2. There you can also find the link to our Facebook page.